What if I told you the best thing you can do for your chili peppers and your peppers is to cut the top off? Hello and welcome back to the No Dig Norfolk Gardeners, where we look to grow our food all year round using the no dig method. The temperatures for us have finally got to that magic 10 degrees overnight. I can see for the next 10 days at least that the temperatures are 10, 12, 14, so everything is just right for planting out your pepper plants. And it is important when it comes to peppers because these really do struggle if temperatures go below 10. They'll just sit there, and if they really get low, like 5 degrees overnight, as we were experiencing last week, that can do some real damage to them. So you're always best to wait until the temperature, the overnight temperatures at least, are 10 degrees or more. In that way you get sustained growth. Yes, you can mitigate this sometimes by putting fleece and things over them, but it's an extra job you have to do. And here's a spoiler alert for you. I'm a bit of a lazy gardener, and if I don't have to do something, I won't. So just by waiting, these can go out now and they can go out safely. But do you need to do this for all of your peppers? I'll come back to that a bit later in the video. But by actually pinching the tops out, what you're going to do is to cause a more bushy growth habit. They will form more laterals. And by forming more laterals, that means you'll have more flowers. More flowers equals more fruits. Here's one that I did earlier. You can see that this one's had its top cut out and all of the bushy growth is starting to come out. It's sent out new laterals, and that means it's going to give us more fruits. It's an easy way to actually get more harvest from your plants. So let's start as we mean to go, and we'll just simply pinch that top out. That's all it is. A very tiny shoot, but it makes all the difference to your peppers and chili plants. The pinching out, it wants to be done once the plants are something like 20 to 30 centimeters tall. And then you'll get the very best from your chili and pepper plants. Also, when you first go to plant them out, if they have any flowers on them, as brutal as it sounds, remove any flowers or flower buds. We don't want them producing any fruits yet. By doing this, once you transplant it into your borders, then the plant can become established, get a good root system. Because once it gets lots of fruit on it, it's going to need to support quite a lot. And if the plant is not established yet, it simply can't do that, and it will start to abort the whole process. When you're growing your chilies and your peppers in the same space, it's a good idea to separate the space up into two different zones. Now peppers, things like your bell peppers, sweet peppers they're sometimes called, they actually like to have the soil moist all of the time. They don't like to dry out. This ensures that they grow really well. But your chili plants, now that's a different story. They actually like to even dry out a little bit before you give them the next watering. So by splitting them up into two different zones, you can treat the watering as you need to. If you're enjoying this video so far, do hit that like button. And if you like what we do while you're there, why not hit that subscribe button? When it comes to planting your chilies and peppers, I always like to make the hole first and then give it a good watering. Let that drain away. And then I shall also be adding some of our worm compost into the bottom of the hole. Unlike tomatoes, you don't need to remove any of the bottom leaves and bury it really deeply. It doesn't serve any purpose for the chilies and the peppers. Spacing, well, they will need a good 18 to 24 inches between them for them to give their best. Ours are spaced at around 18 inches. So the plants have room to grow, and they can give, the soil that they have can support the growth that they're going to be putting on. This variety is a new variety to us, Diasto Giallo, and it's a yellow pepper. So we can see that it's grown really well. It's got a nice root system. And we've already pinched the top out on this before planting, so that can go into the hole and then just backfill and gently firm. Planting your chilies and your peppers is as simple as that. Don't push down on them, because you can really squash the roots and do some damage. You can see that I've already put some stakes in place. They will need staking. They're going to get around about this tall, and we can just lightly tie them into the stake as the plants grow. Then give it a good watering from above. And that will help the roots settle down into its new home. So that's the peppers and the chilies all transplanted. But what of the chilies and the peppers that you don't want to be pinching the tops out of? Well, much like your tomatoes, you get an indeterminate variety and you get bush varieties. Now the peppers, this is a variety called Basket of Fire, and it grows really well in a container. So if they're a patio pepper and you see that description on the seed packet, they don't need their tips pinching out. They will do it naturally. All you need to do is to pop them up into your containers and just let them grow away. We like the Basket of Fire because it produces a really good chili jam. Yes, Mrs. W makes her own chili jams, and those chili jams, I tell you, everybody that tastes them always gives a bit of a, oh, that's rather nice. And at the end of this video, I'll link that video, a chili jam recipe, for you to be able to watch. Now we'll need to wait for these to give us our harvest. We're not likely to realise a harvest from this until sometime in July, probably late July. However, out in the plots, there are a couple of three things that are going on that will give us harvests right here, right now. Our overwintered broad beans. Now, these we obviously grow for the broad beans, and you can see here that they're not going to be long before they're ready. And by the way, we have a new way of actually preserving these, so do make sure you're subscribed, and then you'll find out exactly how we're going to be doing this. But at this time of the year, especially as it now starts to warm up, these will attract black fly. One of the ways you can prevent that is to actually remove the broad bean tops, because then they act like a helipad. They have something to land on and then attack your plants. But if you remove the tops, then that stops them being able to do that. Mrs. W, my eye has been taken away. Have you seen the size of this Oreo cauliflower?
No, I haven't. Oh my God, that's massive. That is the biggest cauliflower I've ever grown, I swear. Wow. And that's the last of the Oreo cauliflower for this year, isn't it? Wow.
That's no dig for you, in action.
Superb.
Just an inch of compost on top of your beds, and look at the kind of vegetables that you can grow. The other bonus harvest you get is from the elephant garlic if you're growing it. At this time of the year, they throw up scapes. Really, really tasty these scapes are. And they want picking anyway, because if you leave them in there, they're just taking energy from the bulb, and you won't get such big elephant garlic bulbs.
So along with the elephant garlic scapes, I'm going to harvest these broad bean tops. Not only does it stop or help to stop the black fly landing on top, but also it will hasten the harvest of the beans themselves. And I like to just pan fry these with a little bit of garlic, or the garlic scapes, and a little bit of butter and pepper. It makes a really lovely side dish. And I will just do this gradually over the course of the week, so we won't eat them all at once. We'll do a few at a time each evening and have that with our evening meal.
Remember we went to the garden press event? Well, the good people at Blackstone, they've seen what we do, and they very kindly sent us a Blackstone griddle, a flat top griddle, and it's just brilliant for cooking things, and we're doing with it what we do best, which is to grow food and to then cook it. Outdoor cooking is really great, and these literally just need cooking in a bit of oil, butter, salt and pepper for about 2 to 3 minutes. So why not grab your broad bean tops now? Doesn't come much fresher than that, from plot to griddle. What an amazing harvest, eh? I shall be having those broad bean tops and those elephant garlic scapes for my lunch today. As for that cauliflower, that was a full 10 inches in diameter. A huge, huge harvest. That'll last us a few days, Mrs. W.
It certainly will. It'll probably last us a couple of weeks. I do like cauliflower though, so that's fine. No worries.
Now, this is the first opportunity I've had since we got back from Malvern to speak to you, and I just wanted to say a really big thank you to all of you that came to meet us there on that day. It was wonderful to speak to you and meet you all. And John, I know we didn't quite get to meet you. You were there on the Friday, but I really do hope you had a fantastic time. So that's the peppers and the chili peppers all planted up. And hopefully with the information that we've given in this video, you know exactly what you need to be doing. That just leaves us with our cucumbers, our aubergines and our melons. And we shall be planting those up directly after filming this video. It's a really busy time of the year in May and indeed into June. So if you like what we do and you want to keep up with what we're doing, do make sure you are subscribed and click the bell for the notifications. And in that way, you will never ever miss an upload that myself and Mrs. W put out. Because at this time of the year, we often stick an extra video out. Now, with the promise of our chili peppers to come, one of the great things you can do with them is to make them into chili jam. It's a fantastic way to preserve them, and you can enjoy that taste all the way until you get your next chili harvest the following year. So if you've never made it before, or you think actually I might need a refresher on that, then why not watch Mrs. W make her famous chili jam next?